let's see if we can do a round of this. And I'm slightly skeptical because it hasn't been too long, but it's been a little bit, and I've been back and forth, as you can imagine, on a couple of things. I had changed the chit draw to a dice rolling mechanism, which worked, but after second thoughts and third thoughts, it just was maybe a little too, I don't want to say complicated, but a little more too involved than it needed to be. So I went back to the chit pull. A couple other things may pop up as we go along. The most obvious thing is we're back to the Perry Miniatures tiny scale that I've based. I haven't glued them on, but have based them on the 28mm infantry stands with labels that I've had forever, and decided to pull those out of the storage and use those. These are our line of communications markers. They don't move, they stay there. Bad things happen if the enemy takes that. As far as the scenario goes, I told myself I was going to amend this as well, but as it turns out, I think I'm just going to play it the way it's meant to be played. I'm not the biggest fan, I guess it depends on my mood, of the chase game, and it looks like the Prussians are going to try and exit off of this side of the board. Now you can only do that with the bridges, or this hex here, which has a ford on it. I wasn't sure how to represent the ford, so you know, I take that back. There's got to be a way to represent that there ford. Maybe if I go like this. Have a little cross current stream thing. It barely shows up. I don't know if that helped anything at all. Actually, the perfect solution would be if I had just a slightly shade lighter blue to put there, and that's easily fixed down the road. Alright, so that's what happens, and this is called the Chateau-Thierry, 12th of February 1814. Where is the Chateau-Thierry? It is right here. It's a chateau. So yeah, we need the Prussians to exit. They get one victory banner for every Prussian unit that is ordered and exits the battlefield from any hex on the Prussian baseline. The French player gains one temporary victory banner when a French unit occupies a bridge at the start of the turn, which is kind of a no-brainer. Their only exit points are the bridges and the ford. Choking off those bridges is mandatory. Otherwise, the river is impassable. And how about this? Yet again, this is another scenario where the French infantry, line infantry, are conscripts and do not receive one additional die in melee when attacking an enemy infantry unit. Well, that's stinky. Alright, here we go. French go first. It's here. There we go. Everything just so. Oh, I changed from a D10 to a 2D6 activation method. So who's closest to a bridge? I guess he is. How far is he from a leader? He has 1-2 hexes, so he will need 2 hexes, 8 or less. That should be no problem. It is not a problem. And he just moves 1, so 1 it is. Alright. Used marker. There he is. Next. Skip the ads. French again. This time it would be adjacent, so 9 or less. No problem there. It's going to move up 1 there. Archem is used. Good start for the French. Oh, well, there's the Prussians now. So we have the most immediate. We've got a reserve infantry unit here, and reserve infantry unit here. They can only move one, I believe. Yeah, well, let's try and move one of those. Move this one. If he is adjacent, that's going to be 9 or less. So he'll move one back. Put him here. Take a used marker here. Next. Prussians again. Another one. This time 8 or less. 5, 6, 7, 8. He just got it. So he will scooch right here. Mark him as used. Since for this scenario, the command cards are 5 for the Prussians and 6 for the French, that translates to 5 chits for the Russians, 6 chits for the French. French again. Let's move him up. That's going to be 10 or less. No problem. We'll move the leader too. Was he even attached? He was attached. Let's leave him attached for now. Right there. Prussians. Let's push this line infantry back here. No, let's go with, what is that? Regular line infantry. Let's go with him. Should be just 9 or less. 6, 7. So he'll go back. Next. French. Nice healthy French turn here. Getting all their moves out of the way. Decisions. Let's go with this guy. 1, 2 is 8 or less. Roll a 2. He's fine. He'll go up. Right, yeah. Two French and 2 Prussian shits left. Prussians. Well, the cavalry should be easy enough. So light cavalry unit here, 1, 2, gets them off the map. So that's going to be 9 or less to activate. 6, 7, 8. He's gone. Because they can move 3, so 1, 2, off. There's a victory point for the Prussians. First one of the game there. Next. Frenchers. Thinking. Let's move this light cavalry up. 1, 2, 3 hex range is 7 or less. 5, 6, 7, 8, a rare miss. So he stays there. Just too far out of command to respond in a timely manner. French again. Let's try and move this artillery up so we can start bombarding that town, I think. So So that'll be 9 or less. Or 5, yeah, he's fine. There. What else? Final shit. Prussians. Well, let's pull them back. So 1-2 hex range is 8 or less. 6-7. Back he goes. Alright, shit's back in the cup. That's end of round 1. Prussians secured 1 victory banner. Excuse me. Have I talked about the Shogun series and how wonderful and fabulous the 8 episodes of a 10 episode total series I watched are? Because if you're not watching that, it's on Hulu. If you don't have Hulu, do the free trial thing. You'll be able to watch all of them before your free trial ends. Just finished episode 8, and I'm on episode 9. Be able to watch that tomorrow. It is just fantastic. And sitting on a shelf collecting dust for some time now has been my, I guess you'd call them 1/72nd scale samurai miniatures. So I may have those introduce themselves to the camera here before too long with this system, so that could be interesting. Alright. Just a great acting, great writing, great action, great plot. It's just done so well. It really is. Prussians go first. Let's get him at least onto the bridge. That's going to be 10 or less. Onto the bridge he goes. Let's see what kind of balancing act we have to do with this stand on the bridge. Let's take the bridge down here. Leader will detach if he was already attached. We do this without wrecking everything. Put that there-ish. Here-ish. What next? I don't see how the French can win this scenario, which may be another reason why I don't like them. Excuse me. It's far too easy to just try and exit dudes off the map. And there's no restrictions to that rule. They don't have to have fought around or lost a strength point, or they can just straight up run for the hills. So, whatever. Let's see if the French can pull off the impossible. Keep moving up. We gotta choke off those points. Let's start here, 10 or less. He's fine. In fact, if we put him here, I'm gonna leave the leader there at this point. If we put him here, we can conduct melee. Again, the words we use, they say melee, and I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would use closing fire or close combat. The dudes going in with bayonets and hacking and slashing at each other. I've said this before. I don't know how often that actually happened. I know it did, but so this is nonetheless melee. Now we're not going to get that awesome bonus, so it's just 4 dice, and we're going uphill, so now it's just 3 dice plus our shaken die. And we got, it's a good thing we did it, because we got 3 hits. So they have taken 3 hits. No flags, and our shaken die is not equal or less than the 3 hits, as it was a 6, so that was awesome. There's how you keep them from going over the bridge. Just annihilate them before they even get there. Speaking of movies, just got the tickets to go see Monkey Man today at 2. Today's my Sunday. I'm off Sundays and Mondays. So at 245, something like that. We'll see how that is. Going for the action, that's about all I can expect with that movie. French again. Let's put him up if we can. Allergies are wreaking havoc on me today. He's fine with that. Well, 3, he'll move up here. I don't think he has anybody to feed. Does yes, he does. Moving range fire here if I so like, and I do so like. So that'll be 2 dice plus our shaken die. We got nothing. Okay, whatever. Next. So we've only had 1 fail so far. We're just under a round and a half in. Prussians. Let's get him onto the bridge. That's going to be 9 or less. Him being this gentleman here. Oh, he failed. Just when you thought it was safe to activate. Then he's done. What did he roll? He rolled an 11. What a maroon. Wow. That hurts. That hurts. He needed a 10 or less, and he couldn't do it. Roll 11. What a jerk. What a complete jerk face. Do I want to swing wide, or doesn't do me much good to move here? Let's move him up. 1, 2 is 8 or less. No problem on right there. Right there. Considered gluing these guys down. We'll see how much I really like this. I use them for a lot of different things, so gluing them to the stands will limit what I do. And just use a drop of super glue when you do that, because it pops right off if you want to take them off. If you use like modeling cement or even Elmer's glue, it's a little harder to get them up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be 5. Yapping my jaw and losing track. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Prussians. Let's move these guys back. That's going to be 9 or less. No problem for him. Remember, we still have the colonnade de Compskin command action points to use. So we must remember that. Seems like a weird move, but I'm telling you. No, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Let's move him back. I don't care about this town. I think that's a song. 1, 2, 8 or less. Can he do it? No, he cannot. I rolled a 9. The other thing is I shortened the command ranges. It was 6. It's a little too generous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, way too generous. 4 hexes. Anything beyond 4, you're just out of luck. You need to move the leader closer or have somebody be in direct command adjacent to the dude. So that's that. So what are we up to? 3 fails now. 1 for the French, 2 for the Prussians. There's Prussians again. Let's go for this guy. 2 hexes is 8 or less. Okay, 4. I'll give you one guess where I came up with the 4 hex range. If you think about it, 4 hexes gives you a couple of things. If you're using a 2d6 method, the same hex as the leader is 10 or less, adjacent 9 or less, 2 hexes 8 or less, 3 hexes 7 or less, and your limit of 4 hexes is 6 or less. Does any of that sound familiar? That's your squad leader ranks. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The other thing is with the 4 hex range, it divides it. Even though I don't do the left, center, or right, the 4 hexes do somewhat divide by 3 the map board. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So roughly, it all works out. Trust me. I know what I speaketh of if French. Well, let's try and fire here. Try because I need to roll 8 or less to do so. And he does not. Rolls an 11. The other thing I'm fiddling with is instead of you starting each artillery unit starting with 5 rounds of ammo and then dropping to low ammo, it's based on a die roll now. So when the artillery unit fires, where is it so I can just read it? If the result is a 6 on the shaken die, he's out of ammo. You can only do close range fire with 1 die. Did he fail? Is that what just happened? I'm losing track of what's going on. French again. I'm going to say he failed. I completely brain flipped on what's going on. What is Young Guard? I think they can do 2. Why? I don't know, because they're young, I guess. So if we can roll 9 or less on him, and we do, he can move, scoot just 2 right up the gut. 1, 2 right here. Mark him used. Another thing I'll admit is I think I set up 2 different scenarios and took them down without playing them. I'm telling you, if it doesn't look or feel right and I'm not into it, I'm not playing it. I had set up the hexes and then put everything up, didn't like it, took it down, stripped all the hexes off, then set up just on the bare wood on the table with the epic figures. Didn't like it, took it down, and then set up this way. And this is for some reason pleasing to the eye, feels clean. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need my final French move of this turn. Yeah, 4, 5. Let's do Old Guard, 9 or less. Not an issue there. But they can only move 1. Because they're old. It's no fun. Get this out of the way. I'll share something else with you that's silly. These little trees, right? Molded plastic trees, and the buildings are from the Perry Miniatures Travel Battle set. And rather than have the trees just sit on the hexes, the Portuguese blocks that come in the base game just so happen to fit perfectly in here and function as the trees, not the foliage, but the trees underneath with the brown. So that's the reasoning behind that. Alright, so beginning of round 3. Less talk, more pay attention. I think I may have screwed up the French artillery firing. Can't remember if they passed or failed, because that was jaw jogging. Too much jaw jogging. But I feel like it makes this perhaps a little less painful to watch if we've got some background chatter going on. Round 3. Prussians open up the round. Interesting. So he's going to roll right off the bridge if he can go 9 or less. Yes. Second victory point for him. So again, I feel like there's a distinct disadvantage for the French here. Next, you probably can't hear it, but I have the Shogun's official series soundtrack going in the background. There's a microphone. The settings on it are weird. Sometimes it'll pick up stuff you don't want it to, other times it doesn't. This is the Prussians again. Let's take him and put him on the bridge. Who, him? Him. That's 10 or less. 9. Just made it. Line infantry here. Go in on the bridge. The leader is going to detach and stay there. Next. Prussians again. Stinkers. 9 or less here. Let's move them back. No, let's get these guys back. 1, 2x range, 8 or less. Yeah, he's fine this time. I'll pull back 1 hex. Right here. The only problem with them not being glued on is one wrong move and they all fall off. Prussians again. We've gone 3 already in a row here. No. The French. Here we go. Let's finish this guy off for a quick victory point. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drops to 3 because of the hill. Give me what I want, and he does give me what I want. First French victory point. Take him off. The other problem with these bases are, forget what I was using them for. Oh, I think I was using them for the little risk figures. And it's just pieces of that train layout paper that have the green, whatever the hell green stuff is on it. And I think I used Elmer's glue to cut it and glue it onto the bases, and it's coming up. Now I can, it's coming off of the base, so it's peeling off. Does that make sense? I could move here if I want, but then that puts me at point blank fire for the artillery, so I don't know if that's the best idea, so I'll stay there. French again. Let's go with right here. 1, 2x range. 8 or less. 5, 6, he's fine. Right here. That means we can melee against here with 3 dice. Right? Yeah. 3 dice. We're gonna want 4s, 5s, 6s. We got a 5. Well, 5 doesn't really help us. It goes against what we're trying to do. We got 1 hit. And he gets a flag which he can ignore, but he doesn't want to. That's just basically a free move for him to head towards the bridge, so he'll pull back. Again, the advantages of this victory rules in this stupid scenario. So why are you playing it? I don't know. I may never play it again. Why did I set up the scenario? Honestly, again, the way the troops were distributed, balanced, the way it looked to my eye. He is used because he did pull back, so there's that, I guess. That's why I chose it. This is what I looked at. For some reason, it's not going to focus because I have autofocus off. But that looked right to me, so that's why we're using it. I'm a complete nut. Bye. French again. Let's move him up. Now where is he at? 1, 2, 3. Is that 7? 7 or less? He cannot do it. 2 dice 6. 7 is the most average roll you'll get, and he still can't do it. Next. Prussians. Let's put him on a hill. That's 10 or less. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow. He barely made it, but he made it. Put him on a hill. going. You're not going to sleep. If I can't sleep, you can't sleep. Alright. Frenchies. Move him up 9 or less. 6, 7, 8. But he got it. That's all that matters. So you see, even as the game plays, everything looks like it should look in my head. It's clean. Has a certain aesthetic that I have to establish. French again. Now let's move this cavalry up, eh? 1, 2, 3, 7 or less. Got it. He'll go 3 up. 1, 2, 3. Why is this important now? Because I'm going to try and prevent that cavalry from racing across the bridge. Another chit. French again. Light infantry moving into the town. Do you have to stop? Yep. What about the woods? Do you have to stop and move into the woods? Yep. Trying to race them through. Would love to race these guys through either the woods or the town, but it's not a thing that's going to happen unless... Yeah, let's go ahead and activate them. 1, 2, so that's 8 or less. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a moot point anyway because they failed. That's crazy. Overall, though, doing the 2-die-6 method, it balances out a little better. Instead of just a up and down D10, you get your 2-die-6 and you can do your bell curve with this going out from the 7. So what that amounts to is a little less fail, but they do happen, and as we can see, they happen quite often enough. Last chit is Prussians. Let's just spite the French and move them out of the way. So 9 or less. The best we'll be able to do is right 1, 2 here. And ready them. Alright, that's the end of that round. Let's clean house. I guess in other news, I'm sorry if I mentioned this, but I don't think I did. The car that I was driving, now we have the scooter, and that's great. But a man can't live alone by a scooter. I guess he could, some do. The car I was driving is a Pontiac Grand Prix from like 2000, I don't know what it was. It's 16 years old, so do the math. 2008? Anyway, it died on me finally, and it died in such a way that when I was driving home with it, it was overheating, and I was about a quarter of a mile from Firestone, and I was at a light that said don't make a left at this light. What it wanted me to do instead is drive further down the road and make a U-turn at this special U-turn location and circle back, and I thought my car is not going to make that. Not going to happen. So I did the no left at the left. Now this is a town in which we live where pretty much anything goes, seemingly. But no, when I make the left at the no left, they're waiting for me in the street, our officers flagging me over to the shoulder, because they just so happen to have set up a checkpoint to pull people over who have expired brake tags. In New Orleans here, we don't do inspections as such so much as you go to any number of places, pay cash, it all sounds hokey, to make sure your brakes work, your car lights work, your blinkers, your headlight, your whatever. They don't check anything else. They don't look under the hood, nothing. And then you get a little tag you stick in your window. Well, as it so happens, mine was expired. So when they pulled me over, they wrote me a ticket for the no left and an expired brake tag. And then I drove happily the extra probably 1,000 feet to Firestone. I was so close. And was told that the amount of work that this car would need was quite a bit. And I thought, you know, do I put that money into this old car who's already... and the other problems were the headlights, the high beams wouldn't turn off. The auto locks didn't all work. The windows, I couldn't roll them up or down because they would get stuck like that for a week at a time. When well, anyway, and no shocks, no struts, and then whatever else was going to happen as the car continued to age. So I thought I'd rather put that money down as a down payment on a new car than dump anything else into this. So long story short, went car shopping, found a Nissan Sentra SV, and that's about the ceiling of what I can afford. Making payments on it, but I was able to put that down payment on it. And there we go. I found a company that would gave me about $250 and haul off the old Pontiac Grand Prix. But hey, I got 16 years out of that Pontiac. Or lasted 16 years. I didn't get the full 16, but that's a pretty good car. Where are we? The new round French. For all you foreign car haters out there, I apologize, but I've been pretty good with my American car purchases. With a Chevrolet that was crap, didn't last long at all. 2 Pontiacs, a Volkswagen, and now the Nissan. French. Let's keep trucking on down the road here. I could move and do melee, but I think what I want to do instead is fire at the cavalry. Is that what I want to do? If I pass the activation, which is going to be 2, so 8 or less. 5, 6, 7. And that'll be 4 dice. Firing at the cavalry. We get absolutely no hits. So that turned out to be a bad idea. How it goes. Okay. Bye. Stupid commercials. Next. Victory points are now 3-1. Here goes the 4th victory point. If the Prussians can pass this 9 or less test. Yep. There's your 4th. He just rolled off the bridge. This may actually be a fast track scenario to the end here. He's about to come off the bridge. That'll be a 5th. This is silly. Who designed the scenario? And I didn't realize it was a chase off the edge of the board scenario until I already had it set up. So it's like setting up something again for the 4th time. Russians. Yeah, here he goes. 9 or less. No! He failed it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's stuck on a bridge. That's hilarious. And that's why I love this system. You think you can accomplish something and it's just thrown in your face. The joy of this system. I'm so proud. Buying the French some time. Speaking of the French, that's going to be 9 or less. 4, 5. He's got that. Put him right here. Used. We do have a whole half over here that is being ignored, by the way. I guess one of the things about using the cards with this game is it does force you to work all areas of the board. You can't choose. French again. What did I want to do? I wanted to hop, skip, and jump. Let's do 9 or less. And that'll put him a 1, 2, 3 right here. We can attack the foot artillery, which isn't going to form square because artillery doesn't form square. So that means 4 dice plus our shaken die. He's already got 1 hit on him. Just need 2 more. 2 more hits. There's 1. We couldn't do it. We only got one more hit, and he got a flag, but he doesn't want to use that flag this time because that puts him below the baseline of where he needs to be on the. Well, he can't move there anyway. The river, right? Why is it a 5? This should be a 2. 2 hits, 2. But the flag can be ignored, right? Because he's with a leader in the same hex. So 1 hit, the shaken die was not equal or less than the 1 hit. Yeah, we rolled a 6, so that was our 1 hit. Well, there's 2 flags I'm looking at. According to this roll. Can ignore 1 because he's got a leader, and I guess he can ignore the other one because he has support. A leader can function as support, so he has 2. Let's leave him there. It's whatever. Mark him as used. Next. He's not long for this world anyway. French again. Let's move him up, 9 or less. 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow. Cutting it close. Mark him used. I guess at this point I should probably move that leader up. Start considering it. Prussians again. There he goes. No, he can't go. Let's move him. Watch this. 10 or less. You ready? There's their 5th victory point because he just rolled off the bridge. That is a militia Lancer cavalry. And they can move. Yeah, he's gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victory points. The scenario is broken, I swear. Yep, 5 victory points. Unless I'm playing it wrong, which is always a possibility. That is to say, strategically, tactically playing it wrong. What's left? Prussians again. Let's move him onto the bridge, eh? Right here, 9 or less. He cannot, because he failed and rolled a 12. He stays there. Bless me. Yeah, today's a good allergy day. I don't know what's going on. A bad allergy day. French. One, 2, 3, 7 or less. Getting kind of out of hand here. No. Rolled a 9. He's done. 2 chits left for this round. Prussians again. I'm just going to consider him done. Let's move him back. 9 or less. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, barely. Right here. And final shit is French. So let's pull somebody up here. This is getting ridiculous. Let's move our old guard up. Assuming we pass this, 9 or less. 6, 7, 8, yes. Let's put him right here. And that's going to be 6 dice. Drops to 4 because we're battling into the city. There's 1, 2, 3 hits, awesome, and a flag. Can you ignore a flag when you're in a city? No. Shaken die is 4, so it's not equal or less than our number of hits, but he did get 3 hits. And has to pull back, which does him a favor as all it does. Right here. And we can move, take ground, and we will. Right there. Don't care about the city, but we want to keep close proximity to those dudes. So that was cool. Alright, that's the end of that round. Victory banners 8. The Prussians need 3 more. This may be a rare single finish on camera scenario. We'll run through the whole thing here. Let's go. Prussians. Let's get rid of all these first. So this is about to be the 6th Russian victory banner as he goes off the bridge. I think that's it. All he needs is a 9 or less. 6, you're not going to believe this. Look what I rolled. Rolled an 11. He's stuck on the bridge. Stuck on the bridge. Awesome. Frenchies. Let's finish off this artillery. If we can activate 1, 2, 3, so that's 7 or less. Roll a 5, we got it. And we're gonna roll, what are we gonna roll? Light cavalry, French, 4 dice, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus our shaken die. Give me something good. We got a hit. So he's gone. I think one of those is a hit. Dropping that back to a 4. Those aren't all exited. The guys over, I'm talking about these guys here, off the map. One of those was a French elimination, I think, because they have 1 victory banner. Now they have 2, which means the Prussians really only have 4, not 5. I've been setting both exited and eliminated troops on this side, so that's what's going on. We need to roll for a leader casualty check. If we get 2 6s, guess what? He's out, and they're down to 2 leaders. And that's the other thing I changed. I didn't think that. I thought that was a little too harsh to try, but actually, that's the. Oh my God! This is a first. That is our line of communications as the Prussians are concerned, and the French now control it. What does that mean? That means every activation from here on out is going to be have a +1 penalty. Yes. Wow, this hasn't happened before. That's not a leader. That's a okay. I think I've been using him as a leader because I'm half nuts. That's LOC. I need to use something different for that. In fact, what I should use is just that. I put them on there. Now there is no risk of confusion. French just took the Prussian line of communication. It's awesome. Awesome for the French. What's next? 1, 2, Prussians. Is that what's next? Yeah, okay, Prussians. Let's move him onto the bridge, 9 or less. However, since the French control the LOC, 9 or less +1. 6, 7, 8, and he rolled a 10, so he's not going anywhere. Maybe the French can pull this off. Just maybe. Who's next? I have yet to have that happen. That's very cool. To take over an enemy's LOC, line of communication. Alright. Interesting development. Let's continue on in the same vein. Let's move him, not the hexes, let's move him back, so that's 9 or less, +1. Rolled an 8, +1 is still 9 or less, so can move back. He just barely passed it. There's that. Who's next? And the Prussians have literally nobody on this half of the board except 1 unit. Everybody's left. What a stupid... But you could argue, why wouldn't you put it over here? Why would I put it? I think I put it here because there were so many units in front of it, but they all left. So that's a strategic blunder on the Prussians' part. Blame it on them. French are going next. That's all that matters. Let's fire here. That's 8 or less. He's got that. Markham is used. And fire. 4 dice. Shaken die. And we get a flag. That is it. Goodness sakes. Goodness sakes, you know what a flag does? Pushes him back. All it does is push him back to the damn bridge. This is ridiculous. Wow. Stupid. Can I forfeit the flags? God. French again. Oh, stupid. Let's move him up. Him being him. 1, 2, 8 or less. He failed that. Great. That's great work. And French again. I guess we'll move him up. 8 or less. Failed that. What's going on here? It's 2 fails in a row. Prussians. Let's get the leader out of here. We're going to lose him. You don't have to roll to activate a leader. You just need to use a shit that you pull. And he can go up to 3. Don't know that I want to. Let's leave him right there for now so we can still help with activating that last unit. French. Let's move him up. 1, 2, 3, 7 or less. Guess what? He failed that. Well, maybe it's time to move that French leader up as well. French again, and that's just what we'll do right there. In fact, no, let's leave him right there. And then finally the Prussians. French could have had a victory banner here. I'm not paying attention. Let's try and move him this way in the hopes that he can exit through that ford. 1, 2, 8 or less plus 1. 6, 7 plus 1 is 8. So yes, he moves. He shimmies over, but oh, he can move 2. 1, 2. Right here. Light infantry. And if he gets one more, that's off where he needs to be. All right, next. Clean house. The line of communications thing is my attempt to work in some sort of outside the game, even though it's in the game, outside the game strategic influence of, again, ongoing strategic matters. I've always wanted a way to incorporate that into a tactical game, and thus far that's the best way I can think of to do it for the time being. Think of line of communications as your overall supply and major command node, all that stuff. Are we ready for the next round? Yes. Timestamp. Where are we at? We're just under an hour. Let's see if we can scoot this along. French. If we fire, well, we gotta activate, and that's gonna be tough. 1, 2, 3. Maybe not that tough. 7 or less. 4, 5, 6. Got it. Now we're gonna fire and try to finish him off. This is the old guard. This is the final attempt to finish him off before he probably exits off the map. Old guard is gonna fire with 5 dice. I think we may have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shaken die. And he's gone. Yep. Alright, so there's a third victory banner. So the French are now 1 behind what seemed like a runaway victory for the Prussians. Maybe I was a little too worried for no reason. Oh shit. We're first one to 8 victory banners, so it's a race to 8. A race to 8. Let's try and this is Prussians. Let's get him off there. It's gonna be 9 or less, plus 1. Rolls a 5. He's gone. That's the 5th. Officially, that is the 5th Russian victory banner. Prussian, I'm saying Russian? Prussian victory banner. And then another chip. Prussians, let's get the 6th victory banner here. 1, 2, that's 8 or less plus 1. Yep, he got it. So there's our 6th Prussian victory banner. 2 more exits and they're out of here. So now again I will start asking myself, how is this scenario winnable? And it was only, the French were only helped by the line of communications thing that I came up with. French. Well, now it's down to this bridge and that ford. So let's start with here. Well, it's French. What can the French possibly do? One, two. Let's activate him. 8 or less. 9 cannot. So that's that. French again. He's already been activated. Let's move this young guard up 10 or less. 6, 7, 8. Yes. So that's going to be 2 X's. The leader's going to what? Detach? Yeah, he's detaching. Alright. Prussians. Let's get one onto the bridge. 10 or less. Plus 1. 6, 7, 8 plus 1 is 9. Doesn't matter. Oh, it's light infantry. Great. That's awesome. So 1, 2. Another victory banner. Jesus. What is that now? 7? Yep. Prussians 1 away from victory here, and we're still under an hour. I'd like to keep these no longer than an hour these days. Otherwise, it's just too much to watch. It really is. French don't know what the hell they can do. You know what they should have done is done moving range fire here. I don't think I did. I'm not helping myself. I swear I forgot to do moving range fire here. Did I not? Well, that's just stupid. I need to pay attention. I don't know what to do here. The Prussians are 1 away. Will I race with this cavalry this way and try and block the bridge? No. No. 1, 2, 3 is 7 or less. Got it, barely. 1, 2. If I sit on the bridge, remember, that's a victory banner. Actually controlling one. So there's 4 French to 6 Prussians. And since I was the last one to occupy the Prussian line of communication, it's still under French control, assumed French control. Prussians probably got this though. French again, I don't know what else to do. Let's move, just start moving. Move him up. 1, 2, that's 8 or less. 6, 7. Move him on up to the east side. Next. Prussians, and here's what we want to do here. 9 or less, start heading this way. 9 or less, plus 1. 6, 7 makes 8. Is he light? No, he's grenadier. I'm trying to work him this way. Can grenadier move 1 or 2? Just 1. 2 chits left. Prussians again. Let's get him on the bridge. 9 or less plus 1. Affects him none. On the bridge. Now he's lying, otherwise this thing would be over. Takes him one more move to get off. I think that's going to be the game here. French, there's nothing the French can do. They did good to get the victory banners they have at 4. I don't know what else I can do. I can't even fire at this guy who's going to 2 moves, 1, 2, 3 moves. He's going to go off the bridge. I don't know what else to do. I think it's the lost cause. What do we do? Maybe I can catch him with the light cavalry. 1, 2, 3. 9 or less. 5, 6, 7. So yes. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens there. So now the initiative really becomes important. And again, this is something that I have worked into the game. Whereas if we were normally playing, the French would go first. But that's not guaranteed with this system. We draw chits. If it is the Prussians that draw the first chit, the game is probably over. However, if it is the French, yeah, it's the Prussians. 9 or less plus 1. Oh my God. Roll an 11. He's stuck on the bridge. So again, the French are afforded luck and time. French. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 7 or less. Come on, you can do this. 6. The guard light cavalry cutting off the grenadier infantry from making it to the ford. And they're going to throw 4 dice at them to boot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, here's how this works. They need to try and form square, and that's an activation check to do so. How far they 1, 2, that's 8 or less. 5, 6, 7. They did form squares. So now we got to abide by the typical rules here. Square. So what they'll do is throw 1 die at the French and see if they can bounce them. They cannot. And then the French throw their 1 die and bounce them, but they're in square. Squares don't move so good. So I'm going to give them a hit. I don't know if I have that in the rules. That squares don't retreat. I'm going to write it down right now. Squares no retreat. Take hit instead. So that was awesome. So was that. That's 2. French got lucky twice there. Who's next? It's not over yet. What should have been over is not over yet. French again. Young guard can move 2. 1, 2. That's 8 or less. Dang me. Failed it. I was going to scoot right 1, 2, right to here within firing range for the next turn, next round. Couldn't do it. Foot artillery, let's move him back. 1, 2, so 8 or less. Plus 1. Yeah, he's got it. You know, foot artillery don't move so good either. As far as retreating. There we go. Oh, he moved though. Should have raced, and you know, looking back on it, I should have done what I did here and then race along the back and taken that other bridge with the light cavalry there. I did it on this side, not really thinking about it until I was actually done it, but I should have done the same thing over here, swung around that way. That's how you play this scenario. French again. Let's finish them off. Let's fire here with the old guard. 1, 2, 3, 7 or less. Rolled an 8. Cool. Can't do anything. That was awesome. Shit. Luck's not entirely on the French side. Prussians, 9 or less. We'll move him back. Plus 1. Nope, he's staying. He rolled a 12. He ain't going anywhere. And that's it. The Prussians are going to have to pass as far as anything else going on. These guys should be marked used. Let me check and make sure. Forming square. Yeah, he's used. So we'll pull the remaining Prussian shits out because they will have to pass. That leaves 3 French actions. It's a long shot, but I could probably. What's this guard heavy cavalry gonna do? Put him here. That's still not enough. Young guard. 1-2 is 8 or less. He gets it. Young guard melee here. This could be interesting. 5 dice. Plus your shaken die. There's 1 hit, 2 hits, 3 hits. They're going. French hanging in there. Hanging in there. And yes, I will take ground. You better believe it. So we've got this choked off, that choked off. It's probably too little, too late. In fact, it is too little, too late. There's only 1 exit point left, but they only have 3 units left anyway. 2 French left. There's 1 here. How do we get somebody there? I'm gonna have to take him 1, 2, 3 off the bridge. Well, you could say you'll lose a victory banner for doing so. No. Let's slowly move him up. This guy here, 1, 2, 3, 7 or less. 6, 7, 8, 9. He failed. And the final French chit. Let's move this guy up. 9 or less. 5, 6, 6. Yeah, barely. He's going right through here, right here. All right, now let's pull these off. And again, the Prussians can win it if they pull the chit first and get a successful activation on that guy on the bridge. We currently stand at 7 Prussian victory banners to 4 French. Alright, this is going to be game. This has got to be game. Yep, there's your Prussians, and all we need is a 9 or less plus 1. Yeah, he got it this time. So that's it. That's the game. There's your 8 victory banners. To the French 4. I say this scenario is broken or unbalanced, but maybe, just maybe, I repeat, do the same thing I did over here, except earlier rather than later, maybe, with the light cavalry. Along the side, choke that bridge off. Guard light cavalry, choke the fort off. Continue on to choke that bridge off, move everybody else forward. Maybe. I don't know. There's no guarantee. Well, that's this today's game for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I continue to like these rules. These Corsican Ogre rules. What I call the Corsican Ogre rules. I like them. I like what I've come up with. Alright, guys. Take care.